Senator Katie Boyd Britt. The Biden administration's reckless open border policies put the most vulnerable in unfathomable danger. The horrors we continue to uncover are directly fueled by the previous administration creating and enabling this humanitarian crisis. And this is from Daily Mail. Migrant children lost under the Biden administration found dead or working as sex slaves. This is absolutely insane, man. Absolutely crazy. Now, I'm not a fan of the Daily Mail at all, but you know, I couldn't pass this up. So, migrant children lost under the Biden administration found dead or working as sex slaves. After an estimated 233 children who crossed the U.S.-Mexico border alone during President Joe Biden's tenure were lost, law enforcement has started to locate them, only to learn of the horrors they have faced. Since March, the Trump administration has tracked down 22,638 kids, which, by the way, there's still over 250,000 that are still missing. Just let that sink in for a minute. All right, anyway, finding some in deplorable conditions, dead, and others being used as sex slaves, officials told Fox News. Quote, we found children who have been raped, end quote, John Fabbricatore, HHS Office of Refugee Resettlement senior advisor told the network. We're talking about debt bondage, where children were being made to work off debt, trafficking debt. We're talking about children that were brought into situations and then treated like sexual slaves. At least 27 of those lost children have been confirmed dead, with causes of death ranging from murder, suicide, car accidents, or drug overdoses. Children are in horrific environments, just environments that they should not be in, where the sponsor is a heroin dealer and that child winds up dying of a heroin overdose, explained Fabbricatore. Fabbricatore? Anyway, these children are classified by the government as unaccompanied minors. Remember hearing that buzzword over and over again last few years? Underage migrants who cross the U.S. border without a parent or legal guardian. And is that all we got? Oh, here, from Chris Oliveras. Watch an unaccompanied 2-year-old child from El Salvador explain she arrived in the U.S. by herself and that her parents are in the U.S. The child had a piece of paper with a phone number and a name, probably given to her by a left-wing organization. This morning, TXDPS encountered a group of 211 illegal immigrants in Maverick. See if this will play.
Venezuela, mamá.
Oh, sorry.
Venezuela.
Holy crap.
Sí.
Loud.
¿Qué tantos años tienes? ¿2 años? ¿No vienes con tu mamá y tu papá? ¿No? ¿Venezuela? ¿Para dónde vas, mamá? ¿Dónde están? ¿Estados Unidos? Okay.
Absolutely crazy. And there's more kids right there. Unbelievable. An uncle, older sibling, or other relative might be traveling with the child, however. The minor would be considered unaccompanied because they're not with a legal parent. Oftentimes, the parents were already in the U.S. and had saved up money to pay smugglers to bring their children in. In a heartbreaking video, a 2-year-old girl from El Salvador told Texas Department of Safety troopers who found her in November that she was on her way to reunite with her mom and dad. While kids have sometimes crossed the border alone, during presidency of Joe Biden, the number exploded alongside overall illegal immigration. Often, children were arriving at the border completely alone, pushed over the border wall by smugglers who abandoned them. In another shocking case, a 2-month-old boy was found in Rio Grande City, Texas, by Border Patrol agents. This is a chilling reminder of how children are being exploited by human smugglers and criminal organizations every day, the agency shared on its Instagram account in September of 23. In one instance, 2 brothers were found at the Texas-Mexico border with handwriting on their T-shirts with the child's name or the contact information of a relative in the U.S. Someone had written the contact information of family members in the U.S. on their clothing in marker. Unfucking real, man. Oh, yeah, there it is. Of course, they're going to blur that out. Personal, sensitive information. I mean, this is fucking crazy, dude. Let's see. Hold on. So this kid, Wilto Gutierrez, a 10-year-old Nicaraguan migrant, was found alone on the border. He was reunited with his mother in Florida on May 28th of 2021 after almost 2 months in federal custody. Good grief. And these 2 unaccompanied children, ages 2 and 4, entered the U.S. alone near the Rio Grande River in Texas in July of 24. Agents determined that the siblings were from Honduras. Hold on, there were a couple others I skipped over. Okay, so we got this one. Ages 6 and 2 found by Border Patrol in Texas in September of 22 with their names on the shirts. September 23, Border Patrol agents in Rio Grande City, Texas found a 2-month-old left abandoned at the border. This is a chilling reminder of how children are being exploited by human smugglers and criminal organizations every day. This is absolutely insane. 470,000 children without parents or guardians crossed into the U.S. illegally between 2021 and 2024, according to government statistics. How many have they found so far? What was it, 22,000, or, rounding up to maybe 23,000? Yeah, there's still 470. So, yeah, it's a lot more than 250,000. It's like 200,000 more than that. It's insane. After an unaccompanied minor enters the U.S., the government's policy is to let the minor stay in the country. The government holds them in special shelters for children until they can be reunited with relatives in the U.S. However, these children are not deported. And I'm sure a lot of these parents they're trying to use this quote unquote loophole by sending their children up into America so they get established into America, and then the parents can come over. I'm not sure if that's exactly what they're doing, but it wouldn't surprise me if that was what some of these individuals are at least planning on doing. Well, I mean, like, they already sent their kids up here with probably the plans to come over at some point. Biden officials were supposed to be vetting the adults who were claiming the kids to make sure they were actually related. Somehow, children were lost in the system, with the officials unable to verify the kids' whereabouts. There wasn't very good record keeping under the Biden administration. Yeah, probably no record keeping. It's drawing that data back in, being able to identify addresses where these children went, who these sponsors actually were. In many cases, that data is horrible. What the Biden administration was taking in and putting into our computer systems was not the right information. So now we have to draw all that back in and deeply investigate into where some of these children went. In some cases, the adults the kids were released to, called sponsors, were not DNA tested to ensure they were actually related. In other cases, the addresses where the kids were being taken to were not verified to make sure the child was actually living there. Under the current administration, DNA testing is a requirement, as is proof of income, criminal background checks, fingerprinting, and identification verification. Dude, Democrats are evil. They're so fucking evil, man. This is absolutely atrociously evil, what they did. Just to let them in, no paperwork. We'll just write down whatever you tell us. Yeah, you can go. We don't care if you're related or not. Just, welcome to America, Estados Unidos, and, have a great time. Not that they care what's going to happen to these kids. It's unbelievable. Also, they can gain how many, so they could gain 4 House seats or 5 House seats. They did all of this in the name of power to allow 470,000 children to go missing, and God knows what. I mean, I don't know, man. It's absolutely deplorable and scary. All right. So let's move on to the next thing, even though it's going to be hard to do, man.